Okay, so now we're going to edit the old style HTML websites, the skinny little boogers, as I call them. And as you can see, the pages are usually skinny like this. Sometimes they'll have a background to match the type of product that you're selling, which is kind of cheesy to me. I've always put like a background like this myself, either a colored background or whatever. But anyway, so let's bring this into Rebake and bake that. Okay, so the first step is I'm going to go ahead and I can see there's a name here. I'm also going to bring in the actual privacy policy page. So I'm going to have two pages in here. This is before the new feature came out where you could do the whole website, supposedly. So we're going to go ahead and configure this one. And we're going to go ahead to edit project and change this name so I can keep track of which one is which. So I'm going to call this just PCM. And this will be home. Okay, and just go ahead and click your next button and then save project. Okay, now I want to bring in the privacy policy. Okay, which is the same thing. As you can see, this I have the better graphic header here on this page, and we'll put it into Rebake on the home page. So I'll show you how to do that. So let me copy this URL and bring this in and rebake that. Alrighty, let's go in here and configure this. Edit project. Call this one PCM privacy policy. Okay, and I'll save that. Okay, so let's go ahead and work on this home page here. We'll go ahead and live edit this. Okay, so I deliberately put this old image in here I created it in Photoshop just to show you that if you wanted to change things and how to do it. Of course, you know that when you select an object, you get your little toggle button up here to do things, and of course the one down here again. So what I want to do right now is move this out of my way so I can select my image up here. And what I want to do is change the image out. So I'm going to go to More, choose Custom Image, and I'm going to upload this. Okay, what I'm going to do here is, let me go ahead and I'm going to drag this file in. I have it on my desktop here. So I'm just going to drag it in. And that's in place. So go ahead and now choose Done here. So now you see we have the good header in place. Okay, so the next thing I wanted to talk about in here is the videos, because a lot of people have videos doing different things on different sites. Okay, so I want to show you what happens when you add a video into a skinnier site. I'm not sure if it depends on if the site's width or if it's just how the site was created, but I noticed that it does do different things when you bring in video on different types of sites. And of course, Rebake cannot edit PSD files, Photoshop sites, because it's just one big image, right? There's no elements in there. So I don't think anyone uses those types of sites anymore, though. They're too complicated to make. So what I want to do now is add a video in here. So let me go ahead and turn on basic user to advanced user down here. Okay, and what I want to put is a video in between this subheader and the beginning of the paragraph here. So I'm going to go ahead and select this, and I'm going to choose edit so I can have my access to my cursor here to either edit text or do whatever I want to do. What I'm going to do in this case is click enter. That's going to create me a space here for my video. Okay. So if I click on this, now I should have me an element here that I can select, as you see. So what we're going to do here is add in the two styles of video as we did in the previous version of the wide PHP sites, the wide format versions. So first off, let's go ahead and add in a video here. So I want to come up here. I have my element selected. I want to come up here and go back. Okay, and I want to add something in here. So we're going to go ahead and choose Add New. And let's go ahead and choose Video. So as you can see, it pops off to the side. Now, if you're adding in video, make sure your advanced user switch is toggled, okay? But most people in this case, they want to grab the video and try and move it into the place that they want it. And you don't have to do that. Keep it simple, people. You don't want to confuse yourself, or, you know, just keep it simple. Remember, we had this element selected, right? And I didn't click anything yet. And this was the one that we selected before we chose to add this video in. All you have to do now is untoggle this absolute click button here, and it'll automatically snap it in place for you, okay? You don't need to drag something around if you don't need to. So keep it simple. So let's go ahead and play this. And it does work, okay? And of course, you already know how to change the video out, so I'm not going to show you that because we did that in the previous video. What I'm going to do, however, is delete this one. So the only thing I have to do now is go to Add More again. We're going to do the YouTube style, so we're using iframes. Click on iframe. As you can see, the placeholder video here popped on the side again. So all we have to do is click the absolute button, and it'll put it in place for us. Okay, it's pretty simple, huh? It's pretty simple if you don't try to overcomplicate things in here. Rebake is pretty simple if you use it as a simple tool and follow the instructions like we show you how to do them. So what I want to do here now, I'm going to go ahead and delete this video. Let's see what happens if I want to put an image here. Okay, we're going to go to More. Okay, that's right. We're adding an image, so we don't go to More. Okay, so we want to add. Anytime you want to add something in here, if you want to change an element, you would go to More. Say if that was an image, you would go to the More button here. But since we're adding stuff inside this element, we want to go to this plus icon, which is Add New. I want to choose an image. Okay, as you can see, it's popped off to the side. But remember, we still have our thing selected, right? Let's go to More now. Let's choose our image. We're not going to mess with anything else yet. Let's go to this Iron Man image. Choose Done. Okay, now you notice it's still off to the side, right? But we want it in that spot. All you have to do now is remember, click the absolute button. It's going to put it right in place. So people, you don't need to drag, even though Rebake can drag and drop stuff. If you don't need to, don't do it. You don't have to. Save time. Do it the easy, quick way like this, okay? So the last thing that I want to show you right now, how to organize your files, because remember, this is an index file. It's an HTML, the old school. Remember, it's not PHP. So I want to show you that before we upload this type of file to our site on what you need to do. So let me bring in the website images here. As you can see, I have index and privacy policy. Now, for some reason, we want to go back to the original. We can't do that in Rebake unless before we add our changes. So it's important to note that when you're doing anything like HTML, you want to rename your index file within your folder, your website folder. You want to rename it, or let's do it like this. Let's go ahead and create a new folder. And let's call this Original. Okay, we're going to call it Original Index, and we're going to go ahead and copy our original first and just paste it in this folder. Okay, so now our original is intact. So now if we put these two on our servers, which is the one that's on there right now that we grabbed from, now we know that we're going to have this one still intact in case we need to use this one later to go back to the original format. Okay, so that's done there. So now we need to go inside. Okay, this is inside my actual server. I'm using a FTP program, which basically you can grab multiple files and insert them into your server. But I'm also going to show you right here, I'm in my cPanel. So I'm going to go in File in case you do it this way. I don't recommend doing it this way though, because let me navigate to my folder right quick. Okay, so if you get confused here, I'm just going to explain things. So I'm inside my public HTML folder here, and I have multiple websites under one domain. Okay, so that's why you're seeing all these folders. These are all websites. So I'm going to go ahead and select the folder with the website that I'm on here, which is here. So these are the actual files right now that we're editing in Rebake, okay? what I'm going to want to do is copy over these with the new baked file. So as it stands, I'm not going to touch these yet because I'm not finished my savings of my Rebake site. So let's go back, because I want this to stay on the website right now so people can still see the website and whatnot, right? So we're not going to touch that, but we're going to keep it open so we can come back to it. So back to the site here. So what I want to do now, since I have my regular index saved and everything's all good and I'm happy with these settings, right? So now I'm going to go ahead and click Save Changes. And now I'm going to go ahead and bake this page. Okay, so now that it says 100%, we want to grab the right baked button file here to download. Remember, the first file here on the left, the button, rather not the file, well, it is a file, but to download it anyway, is, remember, the PHP version. Since we're working in HTML, we want to use this right button here. It says Download Static File. So click that one. Okay, I'm going to bring in my download folder here, and as you can see, it says HTML output. Okay, so this was the index file, right? So what I want to do right now is I'm just going to right click on here, choose rename, and call it index. Okay, and just click out of that, so that'll rename that for me. So let me go ahead and move this. Okay, so we're finished with this page. We're happy with it. It's done. So let's get out of here. Go back to the main dashboard. And now we want to go to the previous page. Let's go ahead now and do the same thing to the privacy policy here. So we go to Live Edit. Now there's nothing that I need to change. This page is pretty much done. I just want to bake it to make it load faster. So I'm just going to go ahead and save changes, even though I didn't do any changes at all, you know. But I'm just clicking that and then bake page again. Okay, and again, we want to choose the download static file so we can download the HTML version. So I'm going to bring my downloads folder in here again, and as you can see, and the reason why I named this, because look, it's exactly the same name as the first one that we did, which was the index. So you see, it's important to name your files, because if you don't, you're going to get mixed up with which one's for which. Okay, so now we can rename this one to privacy policy. Now it's important to make sure that you type it in the exact same way that it is from the original. So if I had a privacy then dash policy, then that's how I should type it here. In my case, my page was called privacy policy with no spaces. Okay, so this is correct for me. So let me move this out of the way again. Okay, so our next step is, since it's only 2 files, we can do that right in here. And the simple way to do that, of course, we can go ahead now and delete these 2. So I'm just going to hit my delete key. It's going to ask me to confirm. I'm going to go ahead and do the same with the index. Hit delete, confirm. Okay, and this is in HostGator. This is the cPanel for HostGator. And of course, the other way we could have done this is with our FTP that's connecting to our server. So as you can see, the files are still in here, but if I just hit refresh right quick, you'll see that they're gone. So I'm going to show you both ways on how to put the files in. So of course, I'm going to go ahead and bring in my folder here. So all we have to do is bring our folder on top of our FTP software here. You can just grab these 2 and drag them in. Okay, that's one way to do it. Okay, let me move this folder. Okay, so that's in there, and let's go check inside the actual page here. So if I just refresh this page by hitting the reload button here, you see that the files are in here. Okay, I'm going to delete these again just to show you. Okay, so now we're inside the cPanel. Now I want to upload those files this way. Okay, now I don't recommend trying to do a folder in here because you would have to do each image inside the folder one by one if you're using cPanel. So that's what sucks about cPanel. That's why everybody uses FTP, you know, FileZilla or some other one, Smart FTP or whatnot. So they can just create all their stuff at one time and they don't have to wait all day long putting in one file at a time, right? So anyway, how to get these files in here? So we want to come up here to upload, Okay, now remember, I have these files inside of my download folder, so I'm going to go in here, and we can only choose one at a time. Watch. So you can't click more than one, so I'm going to grab the index first, open that. It says done. Okay, so now I'm going to go ahead and grab the privacy policy one, and 100% here. Okay, good. Now we can go back. Now we see our files are in here. Okay, so that's the two ways. Now let's go ahead now and take a look at our Rebake site. Okay, that's good. Let's go ahead and go to the home page and see what that looks like. Let me refresh that. Okay, there we go. So our new images are in place. Now, here's the thing about the HTML. It's not like the PHP sites when you upload them to your page, when you upload that file, how when you automatically come into Rebake and you come in here, let's say I want to take this Iron Man page off. I'm going to show you. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and select that and I'm going to delete it. Okay. Now I'm going to go ahead and save my changes. And I'm going to go ahead and bake the page again. Okay, now if I was doing PHP here, it would automatically say my changes would be done. So let's go ahead and download this static file again because we're going to have to. So I'm just going to do it now. It's downloading that, okay? Let's go back and refresh here. So as you can see, the picture's still there. And that's because it doesn't automatically update because it's not like integrated with the HTML the way it does with PHP. It's just how it is. So if I come back here, again, you'll see the new file here. So what I'll have to do is delete the old index file, rename this one. Okay, so now I can bring this back into, I'm going to go ahead and just open my FileZilla here, and I'm just going to drag the new index in, and I'm going to replace it. Okay, so that's good. So now let's go back here and refresh again. So now it should be gone, and there it is. So that's the difference between the HTML and the PHP version. Okay, so if you, that's why I recommend PHP. It's a way better format. It's better for SEO. I mean, hardly nobody uses this old style of web pages anymore. You know, they really don't. If you look at all the brand new stuff, what the new marketers and everything are coming up with, it's the PHP sites because the SEO is better for that, as well as a lot of dynamics. You got a wider screen to play with. I mean, it's just much better, right? But that is the difference, okay? Remember, you can update live right from the editor in Rebake from the PHP version once you upload it into your PHP, into the WordPress, into the plugin. All you have to do is edit it in here, and then it's going to automatically save the changes live, right? So that's the difference. Okay, so I hope you enjoyed this presentation. I'm Ronnie Rocksmith, and I'll see you in the group.